I want to bring in Bret and join us right now. Bret, good morning to you. New York Times twice now, I think, in 2 days. Here it is. Democratic Party must speak the plain truth to the president. Here's two sentences from that. As the situation has become more dire, he, meaning Biden, has come to regard himself as indispensable. He does not seem to understand that he's now the problem and that the best hope for Democrats to retain the White House is for him to step aside, end quote. Where do you see it now, Bret?
Well, those are obviously the elitists, according to President Biden yesterday on MSNBC. Yeah. But listen, I think that there are two camps of Democrats. There are the Democrats now that are saying it's time to move on. Let's go. This is our guy. And there's the Democrats who are saying, I need to see more. I need to see something else. He needs to prove to me that he can do it. There are fewer and fewer Democrats saying 100% he needs to get out right now. But there are people saying they needs to show more. And I just don't think the White House has instilled a lot of confidence in how they've handled this, especially yesterday. To
say the least, right? And Jill Biden, the First Lady, snapped at some reporters yesterday. Watch here.
Do you have any message to House Democrats who are calling for your husband to drop out of the race? How are you feeling about the state of the race?
All right, ladies.
Okay, well, I mean, we're all ears if you'd like to talk. And I think that, Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday having to get into that neurologist thing of the neurologist came, but he didn't see the president, or did he? I don't know. He was there. Was he there? And then she references the military aides as if the guys carrying around the nuclear football are being checked for Parkinson's. Bret.
Yeah, and listen, the fact that the physician had to put out a statement overnight tells you how dismal that press briefing was yesterday. A couple of the talking points that are being used now, that Democrats have already voted, that 14 million Democrats have decided he's the nominee. Those 14 million Democrats didn't see President Biden on that debate stage. They never got a chance to see a Biden debate in a primary, and they just saw the debate for that against former President Trump, and obviously have had the fallout since.
Speaking of the former president, he was on with Sean last night on the phone. He thinks Joe Biden's going to be the guy as of today. Watch.
They cover for him, and they still are sort of covering, but now it's getting very difficult to do that. And, it looks to me like he may very well stay in.
On that line, it looks like he may very well stay in. If you watch the full-on offensive from yesterday, those were the signals that Biden and the White House were giving. With every person they contacted.
100%.
Yeah, and the letter that went to congressional Democrats, here's Nancy Pelosi, Bret. Is she going to say something? Hang on. I take it that's a no. Continue, Bret.
Well, I just think, in the words of Godfather, they're going to the mattresses. This is their time to fight for staying in office, because once you say you're not going to be the nominee, the next immediate question is, well, then how can you be president for the next 6 months if that's how you're going to step down? So I think they're fighting with everything they have. I'm not sure that they've convinced all these Democrats that are meeting right now that he's got, the vigor to continue. What we've seen so far with the radio interviews where the host got the questions that they were supposed to ask, and yet he didn't, succeed exceptionally well even after that, and how the White House has handled this, I think, has become more of a problem.
The New York Times editorial page said that his debate performance was feeble. You had the Deputy Press Secretary and the National Security Advisor spokesperson, John Kirby, just describe the president as lucid. So we are here at this moment, and I actually think the question of the hour is what the NRCC interns are holding up there, which is Joe Biden fit to be president right now? I told Hemmer that I have this idea that if you could get the cabinet in front of Congress under oath and to ask them, do you think this president has the capabilities right now to be commander-in-chief, not only for the next week, but the next 4 years under oath? Will you swear to that? I wonder what kind of answers we would get.
Fascinating. I agree with you. And I think that the White House is going to try everything it can to do something else, to have some other shiny things where people can look at and say, this is a success. You know, this week is NATO. By the way, I have John Kirby on special report tonight. But they're probably going to look for something tangible from NATO this week. I wouldn't be surprised if there's other foreign policy efforts next week during the RNC convention by the White House to say this president still getting it done despite all of this focus.
Can I ask you one more, Brett?
Do you think that President Trump?
Do you think President Trump wants Joe Biden to stay in and be the nominee?
I do. I do think that. I think that the Trump campaign has been pretty disciplined for letting the news cycle, the Biden news cycle, continue. But I do think internally they would like to see this continue because independents, the former president already leads in the Real Clear Politics average of polls with independents. This may shift it even more. We're going to get some new polls probably in the next couple of days.
Couple of things here, Brett, as we're watching them file past. Jamie Raskin had nothing to say. Steny Hoyer said nothing. Jerry Nadler, who has suggested that the Democrats need to move on, said nothing. Ayanna Pressley said to the cameras, Joe Biden is the nominee. And then moments ago, what else? We got one more here. Okay, you saw AOC walk by. She said nothing. But Joe Biden is the nominee with the one comment that we got from Ayanna Pressley. So a little bit of a mix there. We'll see what happens on the inside. Aisha reporting that there are no cell phones allowed. So how the reporting gets out and what leaks we get from it will be determined.
Maybe someone will have an Apple Watch.
I don't know if those.
I don't have one of those.
I don't know if they're on the list or not. We'll find out, all right?
Bret Baier, thank you. And thank you for being on my podcast this week. You were the guest. It just posted last night. We talk about a lot of this, and we take a little trip down memory lane of what it was like in the briefing room and if this would have ever happened. And I reveal who I would choose as my vice president if there was a height requirement, that they had to be shorter than me. Okay,
There's only a few who qualify.
That's right. And one of them, she's a winner. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brett. We'll see you in Milwaukee, too, very soon. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.